Well, Halloween's not looking so festive on Wall Street today.
Yeah, lots of spooky returns out there.
Read across my screen, NASDAQ took a real beating, down 2.76%.
Ouch.
Even the S&P 500 down over 1%. Not the treat investors were hoping for.
Nope, not at all.
But amidst this market carnage, one company seems to be partying with the ghouls and goblins coming out on top. DoorDash.
They are defying gravity, aren't they? Stock's up almost 1% today.
Closing at a new 52-week high of $156.70. That's DASH for all you ticker tape fans out there.
So what's the secret potion? Why is DoorDash immune to this market curse while everyone else is running for cover?
That's our mission today. We're diving into DoorDash's Q3 2024 earnings call transcript, hot off the press. Plus, we got some juicy stock analysis to chew on. Let's see if we can unmask their success, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
The earnings call just wrapped up yesterday, October 30th. DoorDash seems pretty happy with themselves, wouldn't you say?
They do, and they have reason to be. Revenue beat Wall Street's forecasts, but it's their strategy that's turning heads. It's not just about growth at any cost anymore.
Right. It's much more nuanced than that.
They're laser focused on three key areas: crafting a top-notch product experience, expanding beyond just restaurants, and really flexing their considerable scale.
Okay, let's dissect this, starting with product excellence. What does that even mean in the world of delivering pad thai and pizza?
Well, it's all about making the entire experience, from placing the order to getting that food at your door, as smooth and enjoyable as possible for both the hungry customer and the restaurant.
So making the app intuitive, ensuring deliveries are on time, and keeping those prices competitive.
Precisely. And their efforts seem to be hitting the spot. DoorDash is boasting some impressive customer retention rates, meaning people are coming back for more. They're also seeing an uptick in order frequency, a pretty strong signal that people are finding genuine value in their platform.
Makes sense. Now let's dig into their expansion beyond restaurants. DoorDash is delivering way more than just burgers and fries these days. Their push into grocery delivery is particularly intriguing.
Absolutely, and their new partnership with Wegmans is a big one. Wegmans is a giant in the grocery world, known for quality and selection.
Snagging a partner like that is a major win for DoorDash.
It signals that they're attracting those top-tier grocery chains, the ones that consumers actually want to use. It's not just about partnering with anyone, it's about strategic alliances that inject real value into their platform.
And let's not forget, this Wegmans deal comes on top of partnerships they've already inked with other big grocery chains.
Right.
DoorDash is rapidly becoming a one-stop shop for everything from your weekly grocery run to those late-night ice cream cravings.
Couldn't agree more.
Which brings us to their third strategic pillar, leveraging their scale. DoorDash is the undisputed heavyweight in the delivery arena, and they're clearly not shy about throwing their weight around.
True, but what's fascinating is how they're using their size to actually become more efficient and drive down costs. That ultimately benefits everyone involved.
So how does that work?
Think about it. They've built this enormous network of dashers and a truly sophisticated logistics platform.
They basically created a well-oiled delivery machine.
Exactly. And they're pouring resources into tech and innovation to make that machine even slicker. They've also hinted at using their scale to negotiate better deals with merchants, which keeps those prices in check for consumers.
It's a brilliant strategy if they can pull it off.
It seems to be working so far.
So they've got a solid strategy, they're executing it well, and they're seeing results. But can they keep this momentum going? That's the big question.
DoorDash seems pretty optimistic. They're projecting continued growth, but they acknowledge that the pace might ease up a bit. It's a balancing act, though. Investors love to see those numbers climb, but they also want to see profits at the end of the day.
That eternal dance between growth and profit. It's the quest for the Holy Grail. For any business, really. But one thing's for sure, DoorDash is making some shrewd moves, and Wall Street is paying attention. They're not just investing in a company, they're investing in a well-executed strategy. And in a market that's starving for some good news, that's a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Now let's dive into that earnings call transcript and see what treasures we can unearth.
One thing that jumped out at me was their focus on international performance. They're gaining serious ground in several countries. What are your thoughts on that?
What struck me was the consistency of their approach. It's like they took the playbook that works so well in the US and simply replicated it overseas.
You mean that focus on delivering a stellar product experience and then expanding from there?
Exactly. It's not a random, haphazard approach. They've got a proven formula, and they're applying it strategically to new markets.
And it seems to be working. They're not just dipping their toes in the water, they're diving in headfirst and becoming major players in these new markets. They're not settling for just being another option. DoorDash is aiming for market dominance, and they're willing to invest aggressively to achieve that.
But as with any investment, there's always the question of return. How are they managing their investments, especially internationally?
They're being very disciplined. They're zeroing in on markets where they see a clear path to profitability, not just chasing growth for growth's sake.
So they're choosing their battles wisely. Makes sense.
And remember, they're drawing on their experience in the U.S. They've accumulated a wealth of data and insights that they can apply to these new markets. They're not starting from square one.
They're taking a data-driven approach, using what they've learned in the U.S. to make smarter decisions about where and how to invest their resources internationally.
Exactly. That's a key reason they're able to achieve such impressive growth while staying focused on profitability. They're walking that tightrope very skillfully.
Okay, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about their DashMart initiative. This has been a fascinating development to watch. For our listeners who might not be familiar, can you give a quick rundown of what DashMart is all about?
Sure. DashMart is essentially DoorDash's own network of what they call dark stores or micro-fulfillment centers. Think of them as mini warehouses packed with everyday essentials, snacks, groceries, basically anything you might need in a pinch.
So like having a convenience store at your fingertips delivered right to your door.
Exactly. It's a key part of their plan to expand beyond those restaurant orders and become that one-stop shop for all your delivery needs. They've been steadily expanding the DashMart network, adding locations, and a wider variety of products.
Now, during the earnings call, they spent quite a bit of time talking about DashMart's evolution and its potential for the future. What were your main takeaways from that?
One of the most interesting points they made was how they view DashMart not just as a standalone business, but also as a potential platform for other retailers. They're exploring partnerships to help established retailers expand their reach and offer faster delivery options.
So instead of battling traditional retailers, they're looking to collaborate. Interesting twist.
It could be a win-win. Retailers tap into DoorDash's vast delivery network and technology, and in return, DoorDash gets a wider selection of products and a more established footprint in the grocery arena.
They're leveraging their existing infrastructure and expertise to create new opportunities, both for themselves and their partners.
Absolutely. It's another example of their strategic thinking.
Okay, let's talk about another headline-grabbing partnership. Their newly announced collaboration with Lyft. This is a bold move. What are your thoughts?
It's a clever play, that's for sure. By joining forces with Lyft, they're tapping into a huge network of potential customers who are already using the Lyft app for transportation.
So, a way to cross-promote their services and reach a whole new audience without starting from scratch.
Exactly. And they're making it even more appealing by offering perks and discounts to Lyft users who sign up for DashPass, their subscription service.
They're using this partnership not only to attract new customers, but also to boost DashPass adoption, which is a crucial element of their growth strategy.
It's a two-way street, too. Lyft also benefits by gaining access to DoorDash's loyal customer base.
Classic synergy. Two companies with complementary services working together for mutual benefit.
And it's especially intriguing to see this partnership emerge now with the current market conditions. Companies are scrambling for innovative ways to grow and expand their reach. It's not just about competing anymore. It's about finding ways to collaborate and create value together.
Absolutely. And it begs the question, what other unexpected partnerships might we see down the road?
Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But one thing's certain. DoorDash isn't afraid to think outside the box and explore new avenues for growth.
And they're doing it with a clear focus on product excellence, strategic expansion, and leveraging their scale. It's a recipe that's clearly working for them.
Agreed. It'll be interesting to watch how they continue to adapt and evolve in this ever-changing world of delivery and local commerce.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already, but we've got more to explore. Let's dig deeper into the world of DoorDash and see what other insights we can uncover.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to dive in. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about another facet of DoorDash's business that's been creating buzz, their advertising platform.
From the earnings call, it sounds like their ad revenue is soaring.
It is. And what's interesting is how their ad platform is becoming a magnet for both restaurants and consumer packaged goods companies. They've broadened their scope.
Why do you think that is? What's making DoorDash's ad platform so attractive?
Well, for starters, it's the sheer size of their user base. Millions of active users are engaging with the platform, making them very attractive to advertisers who want to reach a large audience, especially one that's ready to spend.
I guess in advertising, it all boils down to eyeballs.
Mm.
The more you can reach, the more valuable your platform becomes.
You got it. And DoorDash is capturing those eyeballs very effectively. But it's not just about size. Their ad targeting capabilities are getting pretty sophisticated. They can now deliver highly specific ads to very specific customer segments, which makes those ads much more relevant and impactful.
So if I'm craving pizza on a Friday night, they can show me ads for pizza places near me. And if I'm being healthy and order a salad for lunch, they can tailor the ads accordingly.
That's the idea. They're using data and analytics to ensure the right ads are being shown to the right people at the right time. Relevance and personalization lead to better results for advertisers.
Makes sense. No one wants to see ads for things they don't care about. It's just noise. But targeted ads can be helpful, especially when you're already thinking about what to order.
Precisely. And when ads are relevant and well-targeted, they're more likely to actually turn into sales. That's why DoorDash is seeing such strong results in terms of ad conversion rates. Their ads are not just being seen, they're actually driving action.
Their advertising business seems to be firing on all cylinders.
It is, and it's a key part of their overall growth strategy. It allows them to generate additional revenue without having to rely solely on those delivery fees. Diversifying revenue streams is always a smart move.
Speaking of diversifying, let's talk about another piece of their puzzle. Their Dash Pass subscription service. They seem to be pushing this pretty hard, and it's paying off.
It is. They announced a record number of Dash Pass subscribers in Q3. Tells me people see value in the service. The convenience and savings are a draw.
For those who might not know, what is Dash Pass and what are the benefits?
Imagine Dash Pass as a monthly subscription. You get free delivery and lower service fees on eligible orders. Think Amazon Prime, but for food delivery.
So if you order from DoorDash a lot, Dash Pass can save you a decent amount of money in the long run.
That's right, and it encourages more frequent orders. People are more likely to order when they know they're not racking up extra fees. Win-win for both DoorDash and their customers.
Now, during the earnings call, they talked about cohort performance. Can you explain what that means and why it's important for a company like DoorDash?
Cohort analysis is a way to track how different groups of customers behave over time. It's a tool for understanding customer loyalty and predicting future growth. DoorDash emphasized that their older cohorts, customers who signed up a while back, are still very engaged with the platform.
So it's not just about getting new customers. It's about keeping the ones you have happy and engaged.
You got it. And the fact that DoorDash's older cohorts are still ordering frequently and spending more over time suggests that they're succeeding in retaining customers and building loyalty. It speaks volumes about their product and their ability to keep people coming back.
They also mentioned that their newer cohorts are doing particularly well. What's the takeaway there?
That's a very good sign. Their efforts to attract new customers are working, and these new customers are liking what they see and sticking around. It indicates they're not just acquiring customers, but the right kind of customers, ones that are likely to become loyal, repeat users.
So growing their customer base while also strengthening relationships with existing customers. Powerful combo.
Yeah.
Speaks to the strength of their overall approach.
It does. They're firing on all cylinders, and the numbers back it up. No surprise their stock is defying gravity in this rocky market.
Let's zoom out for a second and consider the broader market. It's been a rough ride for the stock market lately, but DoorDash is weathering the storm better than most. What's driving that resilience?
A few things. First, food is an essential need. Even when the economy is shaky, people still gotta eat.
Not a luxury people easily cut back on.
Right. DoorDash has also positioned itself as a leader in a booming industry. Solid track record of growth and innovation gives investors confidence that they're a good bet even when the market stumbles.
So even with the market downturn, investors are still putting their money on DoorDash because they believe in the company's long-term potential and ability to navigate tough economic times.
Precisely. They see DoorDash as a company built to last, not just going to ride it out, but come out stronger.
Now, during the call, DoorDash's leadership talked about efficiency and cost management. Why is this important, especially given the current economic climate?
It's about being prudent and ensuring that growth is sustainable. When the economy is uncertain, companies need to be extra careful about how they spend. Wastefulness can be fatal.
So, tighten the belt, but without sacrificing the core mission or long-term ambitions.
You got it. DoorDash is focused on finding ways to operate more efficiently, trim unnecessary costs, and maximize their profitability. Being lean and mean without cutting corners on things like the customer experience.
Streamlining operations, but not skimping on quality or innovation.
Right. Being smart about how they allocate resources, which is exactly what investors want to see, especially when things are uncertain.
Sends a strong message to the market. They're a well-managed company with a long-term vision and a focus on sustainable growth. Not a one-hit wonder.
Absolutely. Not just reacting to short-term market conditions, thinking ahead, planning for the future, making sure they're in a position to thrive no matter what comes.
Another thing that stood out, their emphasis on partnerships. We've talked about Wegmans and Lyft, but they seem to be actively pursuing partnerships across various industries. Why is this so crucial to their approach?
Partnerships are a smart way to broaden their reach, offer more value to customers, and tap into new sources of growth. Working with other companies lets them leverage each other's strengths, creating a more comprehensive ecosystem for their users.
Building a network, not just a standalone platform.
Exactly. It's also a way to innovate and experiment without having to build everything themselves. They can partner with companies that excel in areas where they might not be as strong, allowing them to move faster and be more agile.
So instead of trying to do it all, they're strategically partnering with companies that can bring specific skills and expertise. A smarter, more efficient way to grow.
You got it. It allows them to stay focused on what they do best, providing a great customer experience and connecting people with the businesses and services they need.
Now, one of the recurring themes throughout the earnings call was DoorDash's commitment to long-term growth and profitability. How are they balancing those two sometimes conflicting goals?
It's a balancing act for sure, but they seem to be managing it well. They're investing in areas that will drive sustainable growth while also watching their spending and constantly seeking ways to improve efficiency.
Not sacrificing profit for growth, or vice versa. Finding that sweet spot where both can thrive.
Right. And they're doing it by focusing on their core strengths: a superior product experience, a vast and efficient delivery network, and a data-driven approach. These are the foundations of their success, and they're sticking to them. It's clear that they have a well-defined strategy and they're executing it well, and that's what's giving investors confidence, even in this challenging market environment.
Agreed. DoorDash is a company to watch. They're proving that you can achieve both growth and profitability, even in a fiercely competitive industry.
They're a case study in how to build a successful, sustainable business in this digital age. Well said. And they're not resting on their laurels. They're constantly innovating and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of delivery and local commerce.
So, what's next for DoorDash? What should our listeners be paying attention to in the coming months and years?
A few key things to watch. One is their continued expansion into new markets, both here and abroad. They've already made inroads in many countries, but they have ambitious plans to become a truly global player in the delivery space.
They're not content with just the U.S. They're aiming for global domination.
Right. Also, keep an eye on how they continue to develop DashMart and their partnerships with other retailers. That's a crucial part of their strategy to become a one-stop shop for everything from groceries to everyday essentials.
And their advertising business is a major engine for growth. Be interesting to see how they keep innovating and refining their ad platform, especially as more and more companies turn to digital channels to reach their target audience.
Definitely. They're constantly testing new ad formats and targeting features. They're also exploring ways to leverage their data to create even more value for advertisers and help them get better results.
So, a lot to be excited about when it comes to DoorDash. They're a company with a clear vision, a strong track record, and a bright future.
Couldn't agree more. And they're a great example of how innovation, good execution, and a customer-centric approach can lead to success in this digital world. They're not just building a business, they're building an ecosystem.
We've covered a lot, but there's one key ingredient missing from our deep dive: competition. Let's face it, the delivery space is a jungle.
Oh yeah, a real battle royale out there.
Big players, all vying for dominance, hungry for a slice of that pie. How is DoorDash navigating this increasingly competitive landscape?
That's the question we'll tackle in our next segment.
Okay, let's talk competition. The delivery space is brutal, and DoorDash is facing some serious contenders.
It's a crowded field, no doubt, but DoorDash seems to be holding their own. They've got a multi-pronged approach to dealing with this fierce competition.
Break it down for us. What are some of their key tactics?
Well, first and foremost, they're all about the customer experience. They understand that if they consistently deliver a better, more convenient and reliable service, Customers will stick with them, even if it costs a bit more.
It's about earning that loyalty.
Exactly. And they've got that massive delivery network and their super sophisticated logistics platform to back it up. They can get those orders out quickly and efficiently, which is huge in today's world where everyone wants things ASA.
Speed and reliability are king.
Absolutely. And they're not resting on their laurels. They're always innovating, always looking for ways to refine their service and offer new features that set them apart. They're not content with just keeping up. They want to set the pace.
Playing the long game. Evolving and adapting to stay ahead of the pack.
Precisely. Now let's look at one area where the competition is really heated. Grocery delivery. We've talked about the strides DoorDash has made in this market, but they've got some tough rivals. How are they differentiating themselves in this space?
What's the game plan?
They're hitting it from multiple angles. They're leveraging those strengths we talked about, the massive delivery network, the sophisticated logistics, and their data-driven approach. These give them a real advantage when it comes to speed, reliability, and efficiency. They're not starting from scratch in the grocery game. They're building on a solid foundation.
Not reinventing the wheel. Optimizing it.
Exactly. They're also building those strategic partnerships, teaming up with established grocery chains to offer a broader range of products and tap into existing customer bases.
It's a win-win. Grocery chains get access to DoorDash's delivery network and technology, and DoorDash gains access to a wider market.
Precisely. And let's not forget about DashMart. Investing in that initiative was a smart move. It gives them more control over the customer experience and lets them experiment with new concepts and innovations in the grocery space. They're not just a delivery platform anymore. They're becoming a more integral part of the grocery ecosystem.
They're covering all the bases.
They are. And through it all, they're laser focused on customer satisfaction. They know that in this cutthroat market, the customer is everything. Win them over and you win.
Let's talk about another area where the competition is fierce. Advertising. It's a big revenue stream for them, but they're not the only players vying for those ad dollars. How do they stack up?
Their biggest advantage is their massive user base and all that rich data they've gathered on customer behavior. They can offer advertisers highly targeted and effective ad campaigns. That's a major selling point.
So they can tell advertisers, we know your customers, we know where they are, what they like, when they're most likely to order. We can put your ads right in front of them at the perfect time.
That's it. They're using data and analytics to deliver the right ads to the right people at the right time, maximizing ROI for advertisers. It's not about those generic spray and pray ads. It's about precision.
So, a strategic, data-driven approach to competition, both in grocery delivery and in advertising, leveraging strengths, building partnerships, and constantly innovating to stay ahead.
They are, and they're not afraid to try new things, to experiment. They're constantly learning, adapting, pushing the boundaries. That's crucial in a market as dynamic and fast-moving as this.
Now, let's zoom out for a minute. DoorDash isn't just a delivery company. They're becoming a force in the broader local commerce ecosystem. What does their success mean for how we shop and interact with local businesses? Are we seeing a fundamental shift in how local economies function?
I think we are. DoorDash is at the forefront of a real transformation. They're making it easier than ever to discover, order from, and engage with businesses in our communities. They're breaking down those barriers, opening up new possibilities.
So not just delivering food, but a whole new way of experiencing local economies.
Exactly, and that has big implications. For one, they're creating a more level playing field for smaller businesses, giving them access to a wider audience and the tools they need to compete with the big guys.
Leveling the playing field. Giving the underdogs a fighting chance.
Absolutely. And they're giving consumers more choices, more convenience. We can get pretty much anything delivered to our doorsteps these days. It's all about access and ease of use.
It's the on-demand economy in full swing. We want it. We want it now, and we want it delivered. DoorDash makes that happen.
They do, but it's not just about convenience. It's also about strengthening those local communities. When we support local businesses, we're investing in our neighborhoods, creating a more vibrant and sustainable economic ecosystem.
A win-win for everyone.
I think so. DoorDash is changing the relationship between consumers and local businesses, and it's a positive change. They're not just disrupting things, they're building something new, something better.
Now, what about the future? DoorDash is clearly on the move, but what challenges do they face? What obstacles could hinder their success going forward?
One big challenge will be maintaining that growth in a market that's only getting more competitive. As we said, there are a lot of hungry players in the delivery space, and that fight for market share will only get more intense.
They can't rest on their laurels.
Yeah.
Have to keep innovating, keep pushing the envelope if they want to stay ahead.
No doubt about it. Another challenge is profitability. They've made progress, but those margins are still pretty tight. They need to find ways to squeeze more profit out of each order without compromising quality or customer satisfaction. It's a delicate balance.
Efficiency and optimization. Doing more with less.
Exactly. They're also facing more scrutiny from regulators, especially around things like worker classification and labor practices. The gig economy is complex and constantly evolving, and companies like DoorDash have to tread carefully to avoid legal and reputational pitfalls.
It's a real minefield.
It can be, and they need to find solutions that work for everyone involved. They're having conversations with policymakers, working towards solutions that are good for both workers and the companies that depend on them. It's a work in progress, something that will keep evolving.
Now let's talk artificial intelligence. It's changing everything, and delivery is no exception. How's DoorDash using AI to improve its operations and create a better experience for users?
AI is becoming a core part of everything they do. They're using it to optimize routes, predict order volumes, personalize recommendations, even detect fraud. It's helping them make better decisions, operate more efficiently, and create a smoother, more enjoyable experience for everyone.
Give our listeners some concrete examples of how AI is being used at DoorDash.
Okay, one example is their use of AI-powered chatbots to handle customer inquiries and resolve problems. That frees up their human customer service agents to handle more complex issues, improving efficiency and customer satisfaction.
Win-win. Customers get quicker resolutions, and DoorDash can operate more efficiently.
Exactly. They're also using AI to personalize recommendations. By analyzing past orders, they can suggest items a customer might like, which boosts sales and increases satisfaction.
Like having a personal shopper who knows your tastes.
Right. They're also using AI to optimize delivery routes. They're factoring in traffic, weather, all those real-time elements to make sure Dashers take the most efficient routes possible. Saves time, cuts costs, gets food to customers faster.
Making the network smarter and more responsive.
That's it. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. They're always finding new and innovative ways to use AI to refine operations and enhance that customer experience. AI isn't just a buzzword for DoorDash. It's a core part of their strategy going forward.
Now, another tech topic that's getting a lot of attention, autonomous vehicles. Where does DoorDash stand on this? Will we see self-driving delivery robots on our streets anytime soon?
They're definitely looking into autonomous vehicles, but they're being very careful and deliberate. They know there are still some big hurdles, technological, logistical, regulatory, before autonomous delivery can happen on a large scale.
So not jumping on the bandwagon just yet. Waiting for the tech to mature and for the regulations to catch up.
Exactly. But they're not ignoring it either. They're investing in research and development, partnering with leading companies in the autonomous vehicle space, and running pilot programs in certain markets. They're keeping an eye on how this technology develops and preparing for a future where autonomous delivery could be a big part of their business.
Testing the waters, but not diving in headfirst. Strategic and pragmatic.
Precisely. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked in tech, but is crucial for long-term success. Corporate culture. What's DoorDash's culture like, and how does it contribute to their achievements?
Culture is the heart of any company. It shapes everything. So what's the vibe like at DoorDash?
They've got a strong, distinct culture rooted in their mission and values. They're known for being customer-focused, data-driven, results-oriented. They set ambitious goals and hold themselves accountable. And they approach it all with a real sense of urgency and focus on execution.
Sounds like a high-performance culture, but one that's also grounded in values.
You got it. And that's a powerful combination. It draws in top talent, keeps them there, encourages innovation, drives results. They've created an environment where people feel empowered to take risks, challenge the status quo, make a difference, and their track record speaks for itself.
Now, the gig economy. DoorDash relies heavily on gig workers, those dashers, to get those orders delivered. What are your thoughts on the gig economy, and how is DoorDash addressing some of the concerns that come with it?
The gig economy is complicated and always changing, and we need to be thoughtful about how we approach it. It gives workers flexibility and autonomy that you don't always get in traditional jobs, but there are definitely challenges, especially around worker classification, benefits, and job security.
So trade-offs. Flexibility on one hand, but maybe less stability and fewer benefits on the other.
Exactly. DoorDash is aware of these challenges. They're making efforts to support Dashers, providing resources and opportunities. They've got initiatives to make health insurance, accident insurance, and other benefits more affordable for Dashers. Plus, programs to help with financial planning, skills development, even career advancement.
So going beyond the legal minimums, taking a more holistic approach to supporting their workers.
They are. They understand that a happy and supported workforce is key to long-term success. They're not just using gig workers, they're investing in them, trying to create a fairer and more sustainable model for the gig economy.
Now let's talk about their expansion beyond restaurants. They're delivering way more than just food these days. Grocery delivery, convenience items, other local commerce stuff. What's behind this push? And what does it mean for how we shop and eat? Are we headed towards a world where we can get everything delivered with a few taps on our phones?
That's definitely where things are headed. DoorDash's expansion beyond restaurants is a natural move. They're already a big name in food delivery, and they see a chance to become the platform for all things local commerce. They want to be the Amazon of local, connecting people with everything they need right in their neighborhood.
It's all about convenience, choice, and speed. We live in a time-crunched world, and DoorDash is tapping into that.
For sure. But they're not just randomly throwing things on their platform. They're carefully selecting what they offer to meet customer needs and preferences. They're thinking about the whole experience, not just individual transactions.
Building an ecosystem, not just a delivery service.
You got it. And they're doing it with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction. They want to be known for the best service, not just the fastest. They're raising the bar for the entire delivery industry.
Now let's touch on social responsibility. It's a big deal for companies these days, and DoorDash is no different. What are they doing to make a positive impact on the world beyond just delivering food and making profits?
DoorDash takes social responsibility seriously. They've got initiatives to support communities, fight hunger, and promote sustainability. They understand they have a platform and a responsibility to use it for good.
Give our listeners some examples of what they're doing.
Okay, one example is Project DASH. It connects food banks and community organizations with Dashers to deliver meals and groceries to people in need. They're using their existing infrastructure and network to address a critical social issue.
So they're not just delivering food, they're delivering hope.
Exactly. They've also got several initiatives to reduce their environmental impact, things like promoting sustainable packaging and offering carbon-neutral delivery options. They're working to minimize their footprint and build a more sustainable future.
So not just focused on profits, thinking about the planet and the communities they serve.
They are. They're also committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, both in their workforce and in the broader tech industry, trying to create a more just and equitable world.
Actions speak louder than words.
Right. And they're setting a good example for other companies.
What about growth potential? They've already seen incredible growth, but where do they go from here? What are the keys to their future success?
There are a few key drivers. One is that continued expansion into new markets, both here and abroad. They've made a start in many countries, but there's still so much global potential.
World domination is the goal.
Seems like it. Another driver is their move into new product and service categories, going beyond food into groceries, convenience items, and other areas of local commerce. They're becoming a one-stop shop, which opens up a much bigger market.
Diversification in a more comprehensive ecosystem.
Exactly. And they're investing heavily in innovation. They're always looking for ways to improve their tech, the customer experience, create new value for merchants. They're not just a delivery company. They want to be a tech-driven platform that's pushing boundaries and redefining what's possible in local commerce.
Delivering the future.
Well put. Now, let's talk about leadership. What can you tell us about DoorDash's leadership team and their vision?
Leadership is crucial. A company is only as good as its leaders. Who's at the helm of DoorDash?
They've got a strong, experienced team that's dedicated to the company's mission and values. They're led by co-founder and CEO Tony Zhu, who's been there from the start.
He's seen it all, from scrappy startup to global powerhouse.
He has. And he's got a talented team of executives with deep knowledge in tech, operations, marketing, finance, a well-rounded group with a diverse range of skills and perspective.
A winning combination.
It is. And they're all united by a common goal: to create a world where convenience and access are readily available, where anyone can get what they need when they need it without any hassle. They want to make life simpler and better for everyone.
It's a good goal, and it seems like they're making it happen.
They are. Now, let's look at it from the investor's perspective. DoorDash has been publicly traded for a few years, and their stock has done remarkably well. What's your take on DoorDash as an investment?
Buy, sell, or hold.
DoorDash is a very attractive investment for a few reasons. First, they're in a huge and rapidly growing market. The demand for delivery and local commerce is only going up, and DoorDash is well positioned to take advantage of that.
They're riding a wave that's getting bigger all the time.
They are. Second, they have some distinct advantages over their competitors. Things like that extensive delivery network, their advanced logistics, their data-driven approach. They're not just another face in the crowd. They have something special that gives them an edge.
They're playing a different game.
They are. Third, they're innovative. They're always trying new things, adding to their products and services, finding new ways to create value for customers and merchants. They don't stand still. They're always looking to improve, to evolve.
They're not afraid to disrupt themselves.
That's right. And finally, they've got strong leadership with a clear vision for the future. They're not just reacting to the market, they're shaping it.
Sounds like a solid investment case. But as with any investment, there are risks. What are some potential downsides an investor should keep in mind?
Of course. No investment is risk-free. Some of the key risks for DoorDash are competition, regulation, and profitability. The delivery and local commerce space is incredibly competitive, lots of well-funded companies fighting for a piece of the pie. DoorDash has to stay sharp, keep innovating to maintain their edge.
Complacency is not an option.
Nope. They're also facing more and more scrutiny from regulators, especially around worker classification and labor practices. It's a complex area, and DoorDash needs to tread carefully to avoid problems.
It's a tricky situation.
It is. And profitability is still a hurdle. They've made strides, but those margins are still thin. Finding ways to be more efficient and make more money from each order is key to their long-term success.
So, risks to be aware of, but overall, DoorDash seems to be in a good spot. A lot going for them.
I agree. They're a well-run company with a good track record, a strong vision, and a bright future. They're a company worth keeping an eye on, not just for investors, but for anyone interested in the future of commerce, technology, and how we live our lives.
Well, there you have it. Our deep dive into DoorDash. We covered a lot, from their financials to their strategy to their impact on the world. Hope it was helpful.
It's always interesting to take a closer look at a company like this to see what makes them tick, what drives their success. They're a reflection of the bigger trends that are shaping our economy and our society.
And this is just a snapshot. DoorDash is a company that's always changing, innovating, expanding, pushing the boundaries. We'll definitely revisit them in future episodes as their story continues.
They'll keep us busy.
Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.